Samantha Markle, who joins me live from the US. Samantha, I have to say, this was one of the most nauseating...
Meghan Markle is 44. At least that's what the palace, the press, and every royal biography insists. But Samantha Markle says that number is a lie. And this time, she didn't just say it in an interview. She put it in a courtroom filing. If she's right, Meghan isn't mid-40s at all. She's pushing 50. And the cracks in her story start with one photo no royal wants you to see.
Opinion. It's rather lofty to suggest the ability to align with, issues of war.
It sounds absurd at first. How could a single picture undo a palace biography? But insiders say Samantha's 2025 lawsuit revives exactly that argument. Buried in Northwestern University's archives is a snapshot of a salsa club from the early 2000s. Meghan smiling in the back row. Around her, classmates who, by every record available today, are in their early 50s. Not early 40s, not fresh-faced millennials, but men and women who graduated high school in the late 1980s. That's a full decade before Meghan's official 1999 diploma from Immaculate Heart High. One photo, one alumni list, and suddenly the palace-approved timeline begins to bend.
Our fathers. So we have to include the men when we are self-glorifying. There's got to be some acknowledgement there.
From Samantha's perspective, this isn't gossip. This is personal memory layered over public records. She claims she watched Meghan grow up in California, saw the gap in years firsthand, and has spent decades watching her half-sister repackage the past. Court filings obtained and reported by the Daily Beast state that Samantha is reviving her defamation suit on the grounds that Meghan's false statements of timeline not only tarnished her, but also misled the global public. It's not just about age, it's about truth. And in 2025, truth is a commodity as valuable as the Sussex brand itself. Fans who first caught wind of the lawsuit online didn't believe it until alumni documents began surfacing on TikTok and Reddit. Users pulled up LinkedIn pages of Meghan's so-called classmates, birth years, 1971, 1972, 1973, profiles listing high school diplomas from 1988. If Meghan was really born in 1981, she should have been among peers who graduated around 1999. Instead, the overlap looks like a glitch in the Matrix. One viral tweet put it bluntly, either Meghan is a time traveler or someone shaved years off her birth certificate. It was meant as a joke, but the engagement numbers suggest people weren't entirely laughing. The palace has never addressed the allegation directly. Royal records list August 4, 1981 as unshakable fact. Yet Samantha's claim raises a disturbing possibility. If even one official document can be questioned, what else has been edited? What else has been curated to protect the brand called Meghan Markle?
Some key clips from the podcast, and I'll get you to review as we go. So during the chat with Serena, she appeared to suggest that ambition...
Insiders close to Buckingham Palace told Page Six that staff view Samantha's lawsuit as low credibility but high risk. Why? Because evidence like a university photograph, unlike hearsay, is hard to spin away. And that's where the hook deepens. If Samantha's timeline is correct, Meghan isn't just 4 years older, she's part of a pattern. A carefully constructed brand story designed to maximize youth, relatability, and Hollywood marketability. A pattern that starts to unravel with one photograph, one lawsuit, and one half-sister who refuses to stay silent. When Samantha's lawsuit hit the headlines, the first wave of response wasn't from the palace. It was from the internet. Twitter threads lit up within hours. TikTok creators posted side-by-side comparisons of Meghan with her supposed classmates, and Reddit users dug into alumni records like amateur detectives. What emerged was less a casual rumor and more a grassroots investigation. One viral video, racking up nearly 3 million views, zoomed in on the Salsa Club yearbook photo. The creator highlighted birth years of each smiling face, circling ages in red font, before landing on Meghan in the back row with the caption, "Does this math add up?" It wasn't just anonymous accounts either. Popular YouTubers in the royal commentary space began weighing in. One channel, Royal Truths, claimed, "This isn't a smear campaign. It's a math problem, pointing to the same Northwestern alumni pages Samantha's filing referenced.
Meghan Markle's exhaustingly sycophantic and woke new podcast where she ramps up the victimhood with her apparent BFF, Serena Williams, despite them both being multi-millionaires.
Others were harsher, mocking Meghan's supposed 1981 birth year as the Hollywood age, a common industry tactic where stars shave years off to land younger roles. The more fans connected the dots, the harder it became for supporters to dismiss the narrative as tabloid gossip. Insiders, meanwhile, whispered about something more alarming. According to Radar Online, Meghan's altered role on Archie's birth certificate still haunts palace staff. Her first names, Rachel Meghan, were legally removed weeks after filing, leaving only Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex. At the time, the palace insisted it was bureaucratic formatting, but to Samantha's lawyers, it's evidence of a pattern, that Meghan's records can be rewritten even in official government filings. A senior royal aide, speaking anonymously, put it bluntly: if a royal birth certificate can be changed, then a California birth certificate could be changed too. For ordinary fans, these whispers triggered déjà vu. Meghan has always preached authenticity, branding herself as someone who speaks her truth on platforms like Oprah's 2021 interview or the Netflix docuseries. But if her official records are malleable, then what does authenticity even mean? One fan wrote on Instagram, "It's not about whether she's 44 or 50. It's about why she fights so hard to hide it." That comment alone collected over 12,000 likes, proving that curiosity, not certainty, was fueling the fire. The press, of course, amplified the tension. Tabloids splashed the story across covers, while even mainstream outlets like The Telegraph noted the lawsuit's timing. Coming on the heels of Harry and Meghan's dwindling Hollywood deals, the suggestion that Meghan's brand might be built on shaky foundations was too tantalizing to ignore. For years, Meghan framed herself as a victim of unfair media distortion. Now, critics argue, Samantha has flipped that script. If Meghan's own biography is distorted, then she becomes the architect of her own downfall. And here's the problem that keeps palace aides awake at night. Lawsuits can be dismissed, rumors can fade, but photographs and documents do not vanish. They linger, resurface, and fracture carefully built images, which means that Meghan isn't fighting Samantha in a courtroom. She's fighting a paper trail. And in the digital age, paper trails never truly die. The deeper you dig into Meghan's timeline, the more the puzzle pieces refuse to fit. On paper, she graduates from Immaculate Heart High School in 1999, neatly aligned with her August 4th, 1981 birth date. But dig through old alumni newsletters, LinkedIn pages, and program scans, and a different set of dates begins to whisper. Some classmates insist they graduated alongside her years earlier than that. One former Northwestern peer, speaking to the Daily Mail, claimed bluntly, "We walked across the stage together in the early 90s. I was born in 1976. Do the math." Other anomalies have circulated for years, but resurface now with sharper edge. In scattered alumni directories, Meghan is listed under alternate class years. Event programs place her name among groups older than her official age bracket. Even the Los Angeles casting sheets she appeared on in the early 2000s list age ranges that stretch credibility. Was she playing older roles as a younger actress? Or younger roles as an older actress? The distinction matters because Hollywood's obsession with youth is relentless. Insiders say the temptation to shave even a few years off your age can be the difference between landing a role or losing it. And that's where Samantha's lawsuit stings most. It doesn't simply accuse Meghan of lying, it suggests she deliberately compressed her timeline to appear fresher, more marketable, more in line with the Hollywood machine. According to filings, Samantha alleges Meghan presented a false timeline to mislead the public and defame family members who contradicted it. Harsh words, but they resonate in an industry where age is currency. A 44-year-old actress reinventing herself as a duchess sounds aspirational. A 50-year-old doing the same invites harsher scrutiny. Fans, once skeptical, are now playing digital archivists. TikTok sleuths post side-by-side shots of Meghan's official senior portrait from 1999 next to classmates who, by their own social media posts, are celebrating 30-year high school reunions. On Reddit, one thread with over 20,000 upvotes titled "The Missing Years" maps out a gap from 1994 to 1998 where Meghan's paper trail thins, dramatically. "It's not that she wasn't alive," one commenter joked darkly. "It's that her life story was in the editing room." Even the photo releases feel suspicious. Sources claim that Meghan's old yearbook photos often resurface at eerily convenient times, usually when rumors about her age begin to circulate again. A documentary premieres, a tabloid digs up speculation, and suddenly, perfectly timed images emerge that shore up the official narrative. One royal commentator told GB News, "It's as if her past is curated, not remembered." In that framing, Samantha's lawsuit isn't just personal vengeance. It's a pry bar on a system of image control. And that leaves a bigger, thornier question hanging in the air. If Meghan really is older than 44, then the missing years aren't accidental. They're deliberate, carved out of the record to sell a story. Which means this isn't simply about family feuds, it's about branding. And when branding collides with court filings, the fallout tends to go nuclear. Inside Buckingham Palace, the lawsuit is treated like a ticking bomb. Publicly, aides insist Meghan's age is a non-story, a distraction from her humanitarian image. Privately, insiders admit the risk isn't about numbers. It's about discovery. If Samantha's case proceeds, lawyers could demand documents, yearbooks, and even sworn testimony. "The palace dreads discovery," one legal expert told Vanity Fair, "not because they expect a smoking gun, but because the process itself undermines the polished royal narrative." Even if Meghan wins, the spectacle of combing through her past could feel like a defeat. Hollywood isn't immune either. According to sources quoted by Variety, several studios have quietly re-examined past projects Meghan pitched after leaving the royal family. Executives wonder, if her biography is in question, what does that say about her broader brand as a storyteller? One producer allegedly quipped at a private dinner, "If she can fudge her own life story, what about the ones she's selling to Netflix?" That cynical remark underscores a brutal truth. Entertainment is built on image, and any hint that an image is curated too aggressively can make investors nervous. The fan backlash has reached a fever pitch. Twitter is flooded with memes comparing Meghan's alleged missing years to unreleased director's cuts. One viral TikTok mocked her with the caption, "Season 1, Meghan the actress. Season 2, Meghan the Duchess. Season 3, deleted scenes. What started as curiosity is now parody. And parody is dangerous because it cements the scandal as cultural shorthand. Once a figure becomes a punchline, credibility rarely recovers." Meanwhile, Samantha has doubled down. In a recent interview with an American talk show, she declared, "This isn't defamation. This is documentation." Her words echoed across YouTube clips and TikTok edits, where viewers juxtaposed her quote with screenshots of alumni directories and Meghan's high school portrait. Even skeptics admitted the soundbite was devastatingly effective. For years, Meghan positioned herself as the victim of smear campaigns. Now, her half-sister has flipped that narrative into one of alleged manipulation. And here's the nightmare scenario for Meghan's team: cultural memory. Once audiences internalize the possibility that a star's age is fabricated, it doesn't matter what the truth is. Marilyn Monroe's dress size, Beyoncé's birth year, even Tom Cruise's height. Hollywood thrives on myths, but it struggles to erase them once they calcify. If Meghan's brand becomes synonymous with timeline distortion, it sticks forever. A royal aide reportedly sighed to the Times, "You can win the lawsuit and still lose the story," which leaves us at the cliff edge. Meghan isn't just battling Samantha, she's battling the weight of a narrative that now includes palace aides, Hollywood producers, fans turned investigators, and critics sharpening their knives. One missing year could be a mistake. 4 missing years look like intent. And intent is the difference between a misunderstanding and a scandal that rewrites everything. The fallout from Samantha Markle's revived lawsuit isn't confined to the courtroom. It's rippling across every arena Meghan once dominated. In Hollywood, insiders whisper that studios are hesitant to attach her name to long-term projects until the cloud clears. Streaming giants, already bruised by underperforming deals, fear another round of public mockery if Meghan's biography itself becomes a meme. One industry columnist in Deadline put it bluntly, "If your life story can't withstand scrutiny, how can you sell scripted dramas to a global audience?" For the palace, the risk is reputational. The monarchy has weathered decades of scandal, but it relies on consistency and ceremony to maintain its aura. Meghan's age dispute, trivial on the surface, cuts at that consistency. It suggests the royal archive, The same institution that preserves coronations and family trees can be bent for convenience. That's a dangerous precedent. One royal watcher told Sky News, "It's not about Meghan's birth year. It's about whether history itself can be rewritten." Fans, meanwhile, are divided. Supporters dismiss Samantha's claims as bitterness, clinging to the official 1981 date. But skeptics multiply each week as new fragments surface online, from alumni lists to program scans. On TikTok, hashtags like #MarkleTimeline and #MissingYears rack up millions of views, turning speculation into community sport. And once the internet adopts a mystery, it rarely lets go. Legally, the case may collapse. Defamation suits are notoriously hard to win, especially against public figures. But here's the paradox. Samantha doesn't need to win, she just needs to keep the spotlight fixed on inconsistencies. Every filing, every hearing, every soundbite ensures the story stays alive. For Meghan, silence isn't protection anymore. It's an invitation for others to fill in the blanks, and that's where the cultural lesson lands hardest. In an age of receipts, screenshots, and digital archives, carefully crafted brands can unravel faster than ever. Meghan built her image on truth-telling, on exposing distortions within the royal family. But if Samantha's allegations stick, then Meghan becomes the distortion, the very thing she vowed to fight against. Irony doesn't get sharper than that. So where does this end? Maybe the court throws out the case, maybe Meghan produces new documents that shut down speculation, or maybe the rumors calcify, becoming an indelible part of her cultural legacy. Either way, Samantha has already won something Meghan can't undo. She's forced the world to look twice at the Duchess of Sussex's story. And once people start looking twice, they rarely look away. If Samantha's lawsuit can crack open a royal biography, imagine what happens when the next archive photo drops. Hollywood brands, palace records, family feuds, this saga is far from finished. Hit subscribe, drop a like, and stick around because the next missing piece of Meghan's timeline might be the one that changes everything.